more Elite Four shenanigans, because they just, make you fight bunches of trainers at once to get to the end.
Okay, so you just go from left to right like I do, too, even though you can do them in any order. Okay.
I mean, it doesn't really make much of a difference, so...
Yeah, but if you do that, the game's like, oh, you're going to have to fight all 4 kahunas again, and then immediately after this, they're like, oh, lol, no, nope.
If anybody intentionally goes out of order, they are secretly telling you the last 4 digits of their social security number.
Yep.
That's what I always believed anyway.
Wait, so the last 4 digits of everyone's social security number has to be made of nothing but
Has to be between 1 through 4.
Has to be nothing
well,
but
screw you, John Minor, 6675. Wait, why is my bank account now 0? Oh, no.
Well, not only does it have to be the numbers 1 through 4 for every digit, but it can only use each of the digits once. So...
Choose wisely.
That leaves only 16 possible combinations. Which means that our national security is very, very low.
To be fair, our national security is about as, complicated as that anyway, so...
True dat.
I really can't. One of the most annoying Pokemon to get in the generation is from.
What was it? It was a really low chance underwater, if I remember correctly. And you need it in order to get the Regis, because if you know how to read Braille, then it'll tell you to put it in like the back of your party with a Wailord in the front or whatever. So yeah, that's fun. I love the Regis, said no one ever.
Wait, what?
So in Generation 3, the legendary trio of that game is the Regi trio: Regi Rock, Regi Steel, and Regi Ice. It is officially Regi Ice. They say it in the anime. Don't at me. Anyway, when you find like this hidden cave somewhere, and there's all these like tiles on the wall with dots. It's like all in dots, and when you're 8 years old and don't know what that means, you're like, what the heck? It's secretly Braille. And I know that the comment section is going to be like, well, I obviously knew it was... Okay, all right, Mr. Smarty Pants, sure. Sure, you obviously knew it was Braille and didn't look it up on the internet / had the strategy guide / had their older brother tell them. Okay, I believe you. Totally. So anyway,
here's the thing. Here's the thing with that. I can totally believe that someone would recognize Braille on sight. I would not believe that they know what it says.
Yeah. So, and there's nothing in the game that translates it for you, so you got to look it up yourself, basically. Or just do what I did and read the strategy guide, which tells you what to do. So, yeah, it's put
and everything it makes you do is just really stupid.
Yeah, I mean, granted, it is doing that thing that I talked about in an earlier part where the legendaries aren't those legendaries aren't a necessary plot thing, and they're hidden really well, and they have this whole lore thing about them. It's just that in that specific instance, that whole lore extra thing is just really, really, really annoying. So, yeah.
I don't really like that kind of cryptic shit.
Yeah, so, in other games, it's like, oh, okay, you can go to this tower now, as opposed to, oh, better look up your Braille dictionary, which you have.
You totally have a reason to know what Braille says when you can see well enough.
And I know we probably went into this, because I know we made fun of it in the Leaf Green commentary, but there is no in-game reason why it's visual Braille.
Not as far as I can tell. It would make more sense if it were unknown speak, which is like traditionally the Pokemon hidden code in the other games. But, whatever. I guess they didn't want it there because there are no unknown in Gen 3, because Gen 3 makes you buy 7 games in order to complete the National Pokedex. So, yeah, that's fun, says no one ever. But...
apparently, just looking it up, when Ruby and Sapphire and Emerald, Fire Red, and Leaf Green were released physically, it did come with an instruction manual that had a chart to decode.
Oh, it did?
Braille.
Yeah.
If you had good game design, you wouldn't need to include that.
Well, I think they were just trying to be a little more interactive with their video game that's fully interactive.
Maybe, but counterpoint, it's a portable game, right?
Yeah, I threw away all that crap, which I regret.
It depends.
Well, and you don't necessarily throw away your manual, but at the same time, you're probably not going to have it with you.
Nobody reads the manual.
It's not about whether or not you read the manual. You're probably not going to have it with you when you get to that point in the game, unless you always play in your bedroom, which is, to be fair, what I do. But
the thing about gameplay boxes, though, actually every box before like the disc era and DS for portable stuff is that they were all just cardboard, and it was very clear that they just wanted you to toss it. And so without a box, there's not a good place to hold the manual, and so they would get lost or ripped very easily.
Yeah.
Which is why
or just thrown out with the box.
Yeah,
A
which
lot of
is why
people would.
boxes are so expensive and up the prices of games so much more if you're retro collecting. But that's a different discussion altogether.
Yeah, so true. I mean, most people I know who had Game Boy Advance stuff would keep their manuals in a drawer somewhere, but it was also a drawer they never touched. So
Yeah, I do not have a single one. Again, I regret being that dumb kid because I was really, really dumb. When I was a kid, I actually threw away the manuals for a lot of my GameCube games, even though they could just sit in the box. Which, yeah, I know, I was awful. I regret it to this day, but
GameCube games have good manuals, though, man.
yeah. Oh no, I stopped doing it by like 2004. But still, that means that like my copies of like Melee, Sonic Adventure 2, Luigi's Mansion, and all of those are manual-less, which I feel bad about. But I don't care enough to just buy the manual. And some of those games, just the manual is still like $15 because retro collecting is annoying. So
Yes, it is.
yeah,
Especially if it's a game you really want to play, but it has like no re-releases.
Fire Emblem. Sorry.
I was about to say, Path of Radiance, my yearly convention tradition, is to just look around, find a copy, and then lament how expensive it is and how little money I have on my person at the time.
It'll only get more expensive too, and if Earthbound has shown us
It's
everything,
already to buy a new-ish copy on Amazon, you have to pay console price.
yeah,
You could buy a literal PlayStation 3 for the same price. It's
yeah, and
ludicrous.
if Earthbound has taught us anything, getting a digital re-release will lower the price a little bit, but not that much. You're still gonna, if you want the physical game, whenever Nintendo does do a GameCube Virtual Console, you're still gonna be paying probably 3 figures for it. So
I don't really even care about getting the physical game. I just want to play Path of Radiance so that I can play the copy of Radiant Dawn that I already own with context.
pick easy mode for the record, because that's normal mode.
Yeah, that
Radiant
game has
Dawn,
a
yeah, I
translation.
know. I tried it. It was not. I made it a few battles in,
And then you got your ass handed to you.
Yeah, I made it a few battles in. I'm not totally hopeless at Fire Emblem, but
Well, there's only so much you can screw up in the first 5 chapters of any given Fire Emblem game. It's like
yeah, I know. But I got to a
No,
point where
in the first chapter of Fire Emblem on GBA, the one with Eliwood and Lyn. In the first chapter, if you somehow miss, which is technically possible, the game is coded to make sure the boss misses so Lyn doesn't die.
oh, that's awesome. I'm surprised that they didn't just make that a cutscene fight entirely, because you're almost certainly guaranteed.
I mean, it essentially is, but they put failsafes in just in case RNG decided to screw you.
Yeah, that's
well, the purpose of that early battle is to teach you how to play, not necessarily to challenge you. So I understand why it is where it is, but
yeah. Then again, the first 10 or so chapters of Fire Emblem GBA are very handholdy, so you can die, but it's not really until chapter 7 where
until you get to actually Eliwood's story.
Yeah, I mean, you can get dicked over by the chapter with the ballistas if you bring.
Oh, ballistas are always like that, no matter what game you're in.
Nose Pass has an evolution.
Yeah, this is Probo Pass. We saw it earlier, and I hate this thing. Ugh, it's
The nose hairs. They look like they're alive.
you
act like you've never seen 5 foot long nose hairs.
They probably
it's
are.
not just the nose hair; it's the beady eyes. Nose Pass has eternally closed anime eyes. The beady open eyes are just—they don't blink.
Yeah.
It's freaky.
It's Groucho Marx glasses done wrong. What has science done?
We've been talking about how easy these Elite Four members are, and we've actually spent.
They're not hard. They're just taking forever because I didn't bother to grind.
Well, you don't need to. If you keep the experience share on, you don't need to grind.
Well, I'm just barely over your levels. But the problem is, they are using decent Pokemon.
Yeah.
So if you don't like one-shot them, they can get what their actual plan going.
In that sense, though, Sun and Moon, I think, is one of the best experience curve games in the series, because if you keep the experience share on, you never have to grind. Whereas in Gen 6, if you keep the experience share on, you're 10 levels over-leveled, and if you don't, then you're traditional
Grinding.
Pokemon under-leveled. And all of the games before that have their own share of needing to grind at certain points. Like, almost always before the Elite Four, you're going to need to grind. And
Assuming you don't know about type matching and stat.
no, even in cases of type matching and stats, you will need to grind because it get
No, not stats. Stab.
stab. Oh, sorry, but
Yeah.
I'll put it this way.
Because I've beaten the Elite Four in Gen 1 with Pokemon 15 levels below their
Well,
levels.
that's also Gen 1. That's also a broken mess.
Yeah,
But still, I didn't do anything else other than type match and stab to my advantage.
yeah, but
You know, it's not like I deliberately, did whatever Gen 1, Gen 1, glitches there are. At least I don't think I did anyway.
you didn't warp into the Hall of Fame room.
No, I didn't warp into Hall of Fame.
I'm weak to a second move. Just keep making them use agility while I buff up my Pokemon and heal them.
Yeah, if you don't want to spend every other turn healing, I usually like to grind a little bit before the Elite
good.
Four.
I should also stress that doing it that way pretty much requires that you one-shot every Pokemon. If not, then you're going to essentially lose.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I was playing white version on my stream, twitch.tv/XandShadow. If John can do it, I can too.
What a whore!
And after spending an hour grinding on Audinos before the Elite Four, I still lost to Gestus. So, yeah. Also,
boy.
Acerola's fight entry mouth thing is adorable. So, yeah. Like where she's like,
Why does she have permanent cat mouth?
yeah, basically.
Yeah, cute little anime girl. We've seen about 1 billion of them. But
Yeah,
somehow they never get old.
confusion.
I swear that they changed how confusion works. I don't know if it's
Okay.
just luck.
I have a serious.
No, apparently they did lower it for this generation.
I have
Oh,
a
wow,
serious
okay.
logistics question. Okay, that was basically a wrestling move designed to clothesline the opponent, right? So how did we hit this short thing with it?
Well,
Eh.
theoretically, Caterpie is supposed to be actually the size of a legitimate bug. So you should miss most of the time with that too.
How does it tackling something do any damage?
Yeah.
All right, so you're not just seeing things.
Oh,
Confusion from Generation 1 to 6. The chance to hurt yourself was 50%.
Yeah.
In Generation
It's
7,
30, I
it was
believe.
lowered to 33%.
okay, all right. It's good to know that I'm not just crazy then. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, you still will get those times where you hit yourself 6 times in a row, but it's not as often. Also, anyway, the first time I saw this, I was like, what the hell is that thing?
Who's ready for Anchormon?
And it's dead.
Yep.
That's actually, I like that Pokemon, though, because it's one of the only Pokemon to effectively have 3 different stab types, because its ability gives it stab for steel-type moves, because it's clearly an Anchor, so it should be steel-type, but the Pokemon is actually the algae,
Ghost grass.
and not the Anchor itself. So
Okay,
they wanted it
this
to be
is-
Ghost Grass, so yeah.
Sand castles.
I
This
hate
is-
sand Pokemon. They're
this
coarse
is
and rough
almost
and
as-
low tier.
This is this is worse than the ice cream cone popping up in the Elite Four before. What?
What? Sandcastle.
It's Ghost Ground.
You know, something about that Pokemon makes me think it's the kind that disguises itself as something that children make in order to eat children.
Oh yeah, no, that's what it is. It's like an
Wait, what?
antlion. If you read
Really?
its Pokedex entry, it's like it waits in the sand to trap Pokemon or passersby or whatever, and like devours them.
Give me the name of the Pokemon.
Pile of sand.
Palasand, yeah.
I think it's like PALLOSSAND
yeah.
or something like that.
Okay, so I wasn't crazy. Okay, you know what? That's dark enough that I can sort of forgive it showing up here. The ice cream cone I'll never get past.
I love that. I love that stupid thing. You'll never convince me that it's not awesome.
It's an ice cream cone.
I know, and that's why it's
Well,
great.
you know, I don't necessarily so much mind the existence of the Pokemon. I'm more bothered by the fact that, like, the champion uses it.
I think N has one in his final battle in Black and White. He uses one.
That just That's twice the problem. It's like
God.
you don't see you don't see name a random funny Pokemon from Gen 1.
Licky Tongue, I guess.
Well, Gary can have Exeggutor if you
Yeah.
pick. I think if you pick
I think if you pick Charmander.
Charmander, he can have Exeggutor. Yeah. Because his team is like Arcanine, Exeggutor, Pidgeot, Rhydon,
Exeggutor
Alakazam,
kind of evolved.
and Blastoise.
Exeggutor had kind of evolved so that it was less an egg Pokemon and more a tree Pokemon, though.
yeah, which
And then it became a dragon.
I still don't get because eggs don't come from trees, but
It's
whatever.
a coconuts thing.
Yeah, but
you know.
eggs aren't
Oh my.
coconuts. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
I
that.
know, but it's a double thing.
Buried beneath the castle are masses of dried up bones from those whose vitality it has drained.
Yep.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying, okay, I don't mind that Pokemon showing up. I could do without Beware, but
Beware! Beware!
I still, dude, though that thing, it just wants to hug Pokemon and it snaps their necks.
Snaps their spines.
Your neck is
I
part of
guess
your
I
spine.
don't know. I guess I don't know my own strength. So yeah, now we have Drifloon, another really creepy dark type. I mean,
Oh yeah,
dark
this
ghost
one
type.
this one carries. It's the balloon that carries away children.
Carry children to a different dimension.
No, John, this is Pokemon, not
And,
Yu-Gi-Oh.
and,
There's no
and in one of the
Shadow
Pokedex,
Realm.
and in one of the Pokedex,
Excuse me, Ted. Different dimension is early Dragon Ball Z.
Okay.
and according to one of its Pokedex entries, it hates fat kids.
Because they're harder to carry
So
away.
what is it? Wear one of those tacky shirts you find at a beach that says "No fat chicks."
Yeah, basically, because fat kids are harder to carry away.
Wow, I wonder how many people got laid wearing that shirt, huh? The answer's none. No one has.
Yeah, nobody. In fact, they probably masturbate with it.
And you're supposed to
Yeah,
do your
so-
Z-move dance before you lose the battle there, honey.
Yeah, I was gonna win anyway. I'm the main character.
So one thing that they've been doing since Gen 5, where they introduced this Fight the Elite Four in whatever order you want style, is depending on what order you beat the Elite Four members in, if you talk to them after, they have a different line of dialogue. They're almost always pretty much the same, but it's a neat touch regardless. So, yeah.
Huh, interesting. Replay value?
I guess. It's one way to earn money.